Hi guys, this is Daryl at 151 and it is Sunday, May 22nd, and we are here on the farm saying hello to our koi fish in our main tank. And we have a guest today. So today I want to introduce you to Alastair, Running Bull, Mulholland. Hi Alastair, how are you, buddy?
Good, how are you doing? Yeah, it's just Running Bear, you know.
I'll go by Running Bear.
But,
thank you for coming in today.
thank you for having me, Daryl.
What we're going to try to understand here a little bit about what Alastair Running Bear brings to the equation for 151. Running Bear, do me a favor and tell me a little bit about your background. What got you introduced to aquaponics, and what do you know about 151? What got you here?
Well, the editor of the Indian Voices newspaper, Rose Davis, had brought you to my attention, and also, you know, you gave me a call. So I've been enthusiastic about aquaponic farming as a solution for, you know, bringing sustainable food to the world. And, you know, I'm a politics major from UC Santa Cruz, where I learned a close relationship between secure food systems and also people's liberation movements. And so, you know, I'm very much enthusiastic about what you got going on here, Daryl.
So what you're telling me is urban farming actually is a social equity enterprise, something that we need to get behind, in addition to the quality and the organically grown food, because there's social change that can come from it.
That's exactly correct, yes. And to tie those two things together, the importance of environmental justice and economic, social, and racial justice is essential to moving forward for our planet.
So you've got a degree in political, what was it again? Sorry?
Politics.
Politics, and did that was a master's, a bachelor's?
Bachelor's.
All right, fantastic. Yeah. And then you've also got a background in aquaponics yourself.
Yes, I have a background in aquaponics with my own business called Alastair's Aquaponic Gardens that I've been operating for about 5 years. Which before that, you know, I was doing organic agriculture with, you know, the soil.
But you've had experience with some very large aquaponic systems, have you not?
Yes. I mean, I have a 100-gallon fish tank system now going at my dad's house for a long time, and various other fish tank systems. But in terms of, like, you know, the biggest systems I haven't really, other than aquaculture systems, where a company I work for called Integrated Aqua Systems.
Integrated Aqua Systems, and,
yeah.
And they're more of a commercial industrial type of manufacturer, right?
Yes.
Of systems,
yes,
okay.
yeah.
So what type of systems would you do for them and with them?
Well, we would use drum filters primarily.
The large commercial, right?
Recirculating aquaculture.
All freshwater?
Yeah. No, also saltwater systems.
Okay. So we'll give a shout out to them. Fantastic. What happened? You were writing code for them? You were helping with the controls? Did COVID slow them down?
Yes, unfortunately. COVID
like everybody?
hit. Yep.
Okay. So there is a spot for everybody. I mean, from the large to the small aquaculture system, you just really need to want to get involved with this, and it becomes a part of your life, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. You know, the fish are friends, you know, but they can also be food. So. Well,
speaking of that, let's take a look at our fish. One of the things I think you might find unique about these systems is the way we pump the water out. So we do have that 5-gallon bucket right there. Below it, we're not going to allow any water to get pumped out of this tank below that bucket. So that's kind of a neat feature, and the fact that we're filtering it up there, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, yeah. This is a terrific innovation here. I like how you have these micro filters right here. You can easily just pull them out, spray them off, spray them over your conventional or organic soil beds, adding the nutrients to the soil and preventing the pump from getting clogged.
And now you have recently been on my Facebook and my Indigo or my 151 website, and you've seen where these plants have evolved in not even 2 months. Being that this is a shallower rock tub, it's pretty clear with the water going in over here and leaving down there. What do you think of the condition of this tomato plant?
Very healthy, very healthy. You can see it doesn't require a lot of root zone to grow a terrific canopy.
Yeah, it's about 3 foot.
Wonderful fruit starting on the tomato here all over the place. And you know, this is just the beauty of what aquaponics has to offer.
Indeed. So is this something like you can envision for a residential property, for example, that wants to start with just the single fish tank gazebo and then start networking these rock tubs? To your left, you have the rock tub. Now, clearly that's a much larger tomato plant. We'll get over there and just look at that. Look at the size of that. What's your take on this tomato plant, my friend?
This tomato plant is a huge example of the working success of these aquaponic systems.
Exactly, and it's a nitrification process. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we have a waste product that is generated by the fish as ammonia, and then through the media we create habitat for naturally occurring bacteria to convert that ammonia to nitrites, and then from there to nitrates. The nitrites and the ammonia can be toxic to the fish, and however through that
Nitrification cycle?
Yeah, the nitrification cycle, the plants will then absorb the nitrates and clean the water.
Which they need. So there's a symbiotic relationship between the plants and the fish. And that's not very difficult to maintain that balance, is it?
Oh, it's very simple. Just keep the water flowing.
And the fish are kind of our canary in the coal mine. If they're happy, they're eating, they're active, they're mating, that's got to tell you. And your plants are looking like this. For example, the color and profile of these fan leaves. What do you think?
Perfect. It's perfect. It's beautiful.
Yeah. We don't see any stress at all. I'm going to come in a little bit, and if I could ask you to join me on the back side of this rock tub. So in previous videos, we've talked about how you network these tubs. And because there's only one tub, this one has the fresh water in. It drops the water off at the lowest point in the rock tub on these white fill pipes, and it's aerated right there too. But as it leaves, it has to flow through all this rock and come back to this. I call it a symphony grate, but it's a landscaping grate, and we're going to get that demineralization that's going to occur. Can you explain to the viewers what we have on the backside in terms of what we do if we want to add additional rock tubs?
So all you're going to do here is just plumb right into this drain valve, drain fitting, and continue until your next system.
So some people would say, well, can I put 5 on one side of the fish tank and 5 on the other? The answer to that is yes. I mean, you could probably push 12 of these against the standard 275 gallon fish tank gazebo, but I've found that it's better to manage this properly throughout everything by just making it 10 rock tubs, and we haven't had any problems. We forklift this in and out, and basically once it's on your site, you just have to replumb them together with these pipes being disconnected for transport. Once that's done, we're gonna bring you out a working farm.
Oh yeah.
Isn't this cool?
It's wonderful, and it's a great way to conserve water. It's a great way to bring local nutritious produce to urban settings.
It becomes a family environment, something you can all get around, and you have more control over your food destiny, I think.
Oh, absolutely. And even for education purposes, it can incorporate the demands for the science, technology, engineering, and math.
Yep.
Because it incorporates all of those things.
And that's something I always forget to mention, but a lot of kids will come through here, and I make sure they understand that not all food comes from a drive-through. So if we can get the youth, the next generation, to understand the benefits of organically grown, sustainable leafy greens and vegetables, then I think we've accomplished something. Along the way.
Absolutely.
So just as we're going to walk through the whole farm today, this is one of our fish tank gazebos standalones. This is not tied to a rock tub. And here we have what looks to be a pretty nice tomato coming up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And some nice lettuce greens.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I really like you've done here though with the 151 farms is the aesthetics. We see a lot of on the YouTube
cobbled. They're kind of cobbled together. Yeah.
And it's great to have the DIY effect, but it's also nice to have an aesthetically pleasing setup.
That's a great point. Thank you for the compliment. But I really look to guys like you to do the installs. I prefer our customers to buy them through you so that you can take the time to educate them under the proper maintenance and upkeep and protocols so that they can continuously year-round get this advantage. So we're going to take a little walk around and point out some of the other things. We've had our big koi tank here. What do you think of the size of these koi?
They're massive. They look happy too.
They are happy.
Like their scales are intact. Beautiful coloring, and that's amazing that with just this pond we can supply all of the necessary nutrients to all of these systems that we're about to walk around and see.
And what you've seen on this system is that we required 2 pumps because we're running, I think there's 12 tubs up there, so we split that up 6 and 6.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and that allows us to get the water pressure to the farthest point without any trouble. Our microgreens in the back, what do you think of the condition of those?
Very healthy.
So microgreens, that's a place where people can make money and serve their community. So if you're looking for jobs, if you want to do something that's going to put you in your own business, this is a way to go.
Absolutely.
My plumeria hasn't shown any signs of life yet, a little bit, but not compared to some of our other ones. So I think sometimes it's the genetics.
You can see some green.
Yeah.
Right there.
All right, so it's still early. The jury is still not come back on this one yet. But here we have hops. So tell us your experience with hops in aquaculture. What has it been?
So I have grown hops in an aquaponic system, straight in the rock media. And yeah, they love, they just give them something to climb and away they go.
So without the dual root zone, you didn't get them waterlogged?
Nope.
So I've had that problem.
Okay. I did have it on a timer. I had the pump on a timer, so it was an ebb and flow system.
Difference, yes.
So
as opposed to being constantly immersed.
Yes.
All right. So our dual root zone allows for us to treat it like a hydroponic installation. For the most part, you can add trace minerals in this top zone whenever the plants need that. But with a barrier of cocoa core right here, those roots are going to pass through that and fill this let's just call it 200 gallons of constant flow. And we'll see what we have. But we're ready for trellising. We've done hops every year and had wonderful results on ebb and flow. This will be our first time showing it on a constant recirculating flow. But they look happy, don't they?
Oh yeah.
And those are Cascade.
What's up, little guys?
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Yeah, it's about,
already reaching for it.
That's about 2 weeks in, I know. All right, so here we are staging other rock tubs ready to go. To any of our ambassadors, this is definitely an opportunity to talk to our ambassadors and get them to come out here and look at your project and get you set up with one of these. Now we're going to go up to our main garden, and you've seen last year's images of these plants. Let's just start over here. This will be our fig, and every one of these rock tubs has 2 tomato plants behind it. So what do you think of the quality of the fig right now? And this is not a dual root zone. This is sitting singly in the lava rock.
Oh yeah. And just so that people can see, you just dig down a little bit and you got water right there.
Yeah.
But by keeping the water covered, it protects it from evaporation and allows most of the water loss to be just through the plants absorbing the water.
Do we have any figs on here yet? Oh yeah, right here.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
look at that fruit.
Yeah. The proof is in the fig. And our tomatoes in the back. So we end up, these will overtake the tub. So what I have to do is, using hemp string, I just go ahead and tie everything back. What do you think of the condition of the tomatoes?
Another beautiful example of aquaponics. And here we can see a nice little cluster starting.
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
Nice.
It's red on the way. Some nice chives growing in the system.
Yep.
Some more basil, some mint.
So what does this type of system do for you in your business? It allows you to have the whole pre-packaged, brought out, delivered, set up, and you can do maybe 3-4 times as many installs a month once you have a system designed that's repeatable, right?
Absolutely, and it would allow for easier maintenance also. Something that is already established, and the design is foolproof. So
the other plants that I think are worth noting is this is a Valencia orange over here. You've seen it from last year to this year. It looks like we've got some babies coming in. You see?
Oh, lovely.
At year 2. Now this is a dual root zone, so this is primarily soil and cocoa core mix up here, zone 1, and then zone 2 is the constant flow recirculating water, which it comes in on the top and returns back to our fish. But look at the size of these tomato plants. I mean, that's a 4-footer right there. There's 2 of them. Over here we have our mulberry, and behind that some tomatoes. Can you point out some of the tomato growth back here?
Oh yeah, look at this. Here we go, right here.
Oh yeah. That's probably a beefsteak, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So when are we going to start seeing ripe tomatoes? Thinking June, July?
Oh, those are a couple of weeks away, I'd say.
Okay. And our mulberry. Now this thing has tripled in size at least.
Look, here's some fruit right here starting.
Try
Beautiful.
it. Tell me what you think.
We'll give it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Once it gets all red.
These will be black, but they are so sweet. I've been picking them. Yeah. And based on, well, you know, one of the things people ask me, how often do you top water? I don't top water that often, maybe once every week or two. And that's only when the plant looks like it needs it. Its primary source of nutrients is coming from the fish water. I do mist every morning, so it's getting some topical.
So you're saying that the roots are going all the way through the bottom of the plant?
Well, clearly. I mean, the roots would never survive in that 20. So that mulberry has a root zone that's completely immersed in the lava rock beneath it. And then what do we have here? Chirimoya. So you see the baby chirimoyas up there. They're just starting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I cannot say I've ever had a chirimoya. Is it sweet?
Yes.
It's supposed to be really good in antioxidants.
Very good.
Very healthy. So that'll be new. I'll be eating my first chirimoya from my own plant. And
That reminds me of a study I found that aquaponically grown plants have much higher levels of antioxidants than conventionally grown produce.
if there's a link to that, we'd like to have that.
Absolutely.
Okay. To keep moving along here, we've got our avocados. Now, avocados are heavy drinkers, so I'm told that an avocado could consume 20 gallons of water per day as a mature plant.
Yeah.
So this system, based on the amount of water I have to refill in that big 2,500 gallon koi tank, I don't think it's taking a quart a day, at least at this stage. So at the tomatoes in the back, again, nicely filled in, but this is our fuerte, and the leaves are coming back quite nicely. They normally will drop over the winter and then come back in the spring. So we're just coming back. And over here, you want to point out some more tomatoes coming in, and this would be our, I think this is the Haas, isn't it?
Pinkerton?
No, Pinkertons.
Nice.
And this one's done quite well. Again, a dual root zone.
We got some strawberries coming in.
Yep. Our squash in the back. Look at all these tomato clusters. Oh my goodness. Looks like a cherry. And then over here we have our Haas. And one of my favorites, this is where a lot of people like to come and take pictures, is our plumeria. Now this one's a little bit further along, and I believe it has to do with the amount of light it's getting, to be honest with you.
Sure.
You know, this is one hell of a beautiful plant, and every year it just gives us the most gorgeous flowers.
Some smaller ones here going really nice.
They have. Yeah, when I've had occasion to have to pull those up, you know, the roots are very well developed and it's just running right along. This is a Kiefer pear, dual root zone. And our new mobile rock farm. So what do you think about what we're building here as a mobile rock farm? What does this represent, what we can do to the community?
Well, like we were having a conversation earlier, you talked about seeing is believing. And it's hard for people maybe to conceptualize the benefits that aquaponics has to offer without seeing it, and this is what you've done here.
So let's say we take this to places and there's a social message that we have to get out. This becomes a rolling platform. Now, we're not plumbed in. This is actually the end of week 1. This was basically set up to haul big case 580 tractor trailers and attachments, but we've modified it. We've taken all the expanded metal off. We've taken off the brakes. We put this flip top staircase on. Why don't you walk up there and understand, I've got jack stands on front and back, so it's very stable. This is a message for you and your generation for not only aquaculture, but social justice. And I would expect maybe there's somebody playing music. You know, we want to bring this show on the road because there's just so much that people have to understand about what our message really is. And what is our message?
I would say the message is to let people know that, hey, you know, some people with, it's all about doom and gloom. You know, like, oh, what are we gonna
Where's that
do?
government check?
Where's the government check? What are we gonna do? You know, our environment is collapsing. There are no solutions. You know, but right here it's all about, you know, bloom and groom.
Bloom and groom, I like that.
Right? 'Cause here we can just bloom beautiful plants, and we groom them up a little bit.
So we'll be bringing a farm on the road,
Oh yeah.
and they'll get to see our rock tubs and our fish tank gazebo. And you like the design? You think it'll show well?
I think it will show wonderfully. You know, like again, I applaud the aesthetics, and you know, this rock farm here, this rock solid.
Thank you.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
release your inner rock star. That's what we call it. So listen, thank you so much for coming out and checking us out. I'm going to put a link to your website.
All right.
Join us on Facebook, obviously as friends, and understand that when we want systems like these in, it's not like you can't do this. Hell, you can build these systems from scratch. But this is a turnkey example of what we can do as a community to bring these opportunities. Alastair, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, Daryl.
All right, have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, you too.
Perfect.